So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another IATEFL live stream. And you can see I'm here with John today.
Hi, everybody.
Sorry. And we're say hello. And we're about to introduce you to lots of the different special interest groups and what they will be doing at conference. So the theme of today's live stream is PCE. And we're going to do that because for the last few live streams, we keep mentioning PCE, we keep mentioning SIG, and we're kind of aware that people might not know what that means. So this live stream is all about SIGs and PCEs. John, do you want to tell people about SIGs to get us started?
Absolutely. Yes, SIGs. So SIGs being special interest groups. And they're absolutely essential. They're a fundamental part of what IATEFL is. And when somebody joins IATEFL, they can choose to join one or more of our 16 special interest groups. And each one of those really focuses on a specific area of our profession and becomes its own smaller community of practice under the larger umbrella of IATEFL. So really members choose and tailor their membership to their own personal interests, their own areas where they're working. And the SIGs are a great way of getting in contact and working with other people who have those same or similar areas of interest.
Great. So, yeah, it does make sense. I think sometimes people don't necessarily, unless you're actually a member of IATEFL, you don't necessarily understand how it works. But so for a typical IATEFL membership, and I say typical because there are various types, but in a typical IATEFL membership, you can choose to join a SIG as part of your membership. I know I remember when I joined originally, it was always a dilemma: which one am I going to have as part of my membership? Although, of course, you can pay slightly more to be a member.
To add additional ones in, that's right. And some people to sort of really create their own membership to sort of reflect their own interests or their own areas that they're currently working in. So, and I think we do see people sort of, as they move through their profession, join and leave different SIGs as it reflects their own progression themselves, which is really interesting. That's
very true, although I can't really, I guess I shouldn't be biased, so I won't mention the SIGs to which I am a member. We will meet one of the coordinators of those later on. Okay, so the special interest groups are the little groups within IATEFL that focus on a specific area of interest. That's one piece of terminology, and our second acronym we've been throwing around is
a PCE. Absolutely, pre-conference event. So each year we have our big international conference and exhibition, and a major part of that is actually the day before our 4-day conference is PCE day, pre-conference event day, and many or the majority of our special interest groups organise either on their own or in collaboration perhaps with another special interest group a one-day self-contained conference, PCE in itself, and there's a great choice. People can it's a nice way of starting the conference, focusing in on one particular area, and then over the following 4 days broadening it out to all of the 400 or 500 sessions on everything else, as it were. So yeah, if I put up onto the screen now, this sort of shows you this year for Belfast. We're really excited in May that the day before the conference starts, so on Monday the 16th of May, we have a huge range of different pre-conference events on offer.
There's quite a lot there.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the highest we've ever had, which is great.
And so what we thought we would do then in this live stream is introduce you to or let some of the SIGs talk about their PCEs. I'm going to keep refreshing those abbreviations and then test everybody at the end. So we're going to give a few of the SIGs time on camera to tell us about their pre-conference events, so that obviously to build up people's interest in the event itself and in the conference for it. So there are a number of people waiting off camera to come online. Shall we bring the first person up? So let's go over then to BZig. Rob, I've just put you on screen.
Hi,
and
Great.
I'm going to put your video
Thank
on
you,
screen
gentlemen.
a second. Hi, Rob.
Great.
So,
Hello.
do you want to tell us?
Hi, my name's John Hughes, and
I'm Rachel. At BSIG's IATEFL PCE, I'll be talking about instructional design and the various ways in which we can analyse the training needs of our course participants.
in Belfast, I'll be leading the session on course outlines. So we'll be taking the information from the needs analysis, turning it into measurable aims, and then showing how we can transfer this information into a piece of documentation that you might share with the students.
During the BSIG pre-conference event, I'm going to be talking about writing materials. So the sorts of exercises and materials that we write perhaps also as a matter of course for our own students.
The approaches and methods that we discuss during the session will be used to inform the setting of training goals, objectives and outcomes, as well as materials design and development, and our approaches to assessment and evaluation.
And we'll also be looking at some real examples of course outlines so we can sort of learn from best practice of others.
We're also going to be thinking about how best we can present these so that we maximise students' learning. This means making materials very logical and clear.
I really hope to see you at the pre-conference event and promise you an engaging, interesting and highly useful session.
I look forward to seeing you there.
Look forward to seeing you there.
Well, it auto-played by itself, but what you see...
Sorry about that, Rob.
That was a busy day, though.
That's okay. It's what you see is we got three top course curriculum and material design people to put together a hands-on, totally integrated, cohesive, unified day of building a course for your own particular context, and then working together. So you'll have a great day. So we hope you come along and join us for Business English SIG.
I was just going to say, for those of you who might not have sort of been familiar with the BSIG element, so the BE is for Business English. And so this PCE, would you say, is specifically targeted for people working specifically in that sector?
Actually, no. What we're trying to do is we've got a slant, of course, towards Business English. And this is really for anybody, for any kind of course, because we're talking about what you have to do to build the course itself, not specifics to business. So we welcome everyone who's interested in coming up with your own context. Thanks, John.
Perfect. So, in the BSIG PCE, again, trying to avoid all those acronyms, I'm just going to find a link and drop it into the comment box if people want interested. So, if you are interested in the BSIG event, I've just put into the comment box. It should appear in your stream wherever you're watching. Perfect. So you can look at that, and at the end of the stream, we'll also show you how you can, if you are interested in joining any of them, how you'll be able to do that. But if you're interested in find out more about the Business English Special Interest Group, then the link is there for you. And if you want to go and see those three wonderful curriculum designers, materials writers, then you need to go join the BSIG pre-conference event where Rob will be waiting to say hello to you all, I guess.
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much, Rob. So
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. So just to remind you that of the pre-conference events, there are a lot going on. We are just talking to a few of the people today, otherwise the stream would last rather a long time. So you can see that the BSIG one is in the bottom right of that slide.
I think that's the biggest challenge, isn't it, Sean? There's just too much choice there.
Yeah, there are quite a lot.
Where do you start? It's exciting, and as Rob said, even if you weren't specifically involved in business English, course design is relevant to all of us, of course, isn't it?
And I think that's also that is maybe something that people need to be reminded of, that. So if you're a member of XSIG, it doesn't mean to say you have to go to their pre-conference event. You could go somewhere else as well. Yeah. So let's move neatly up the slide from BSIG in the bottom corner. Let's go up one and introduce our next person. So Tyson is joining us from TDSIG. So Tyson, welcome to the stream. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi there. I am great. How are you?
Good. Juggling a lot of cameras at the moment, but apart from that. So, Tyson, would you like to tell us who you are and a little bit about TDSIG and your PC event?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. It's early morning in Canada, which is where I am. And I'm the coordinator and have been the coordinator of the teacher development SIG for the last 5 years or so. And as you know, language teaching involves more than just teaching language per se. There's a whole bunch of other things involved, as we know, that happen in the classroom. And so this year we decided to focus on the social and emotional learning aspect of language teaching. And just so you have a little bit of background about what that means, the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, or CASEL, developed a framework of competencies that are related to social and emotional learning, which are things like self-awareness, self-management, understanding social norms and empathy, relationship skills, being able to make decisions appropriate using ethics, and so on. And these are the types of things that we're going to be looking at throughout the day at our PCE. And as you can see, we're trying to apply this to all teachers and learners as we are a broad SIG. And so we have 3 speakers, although we've only announced 2 so far. The first is Akemi Iwasa, who will be talking from her context in Brazil about SEL development in the classroom. Romina Muse from Argentina will be talking about raising SEL and boosting academics from her context. And then we have a third speaker who's a mystery speaker at the moment, but we'll be announcing them very shortly. The other thing that I would like to mention is that we have partnered with an Elton Award-winning group called Digital Learning Associates, who won the Elton last year in the EDI category for their digital resources that are available, these video series that have transcripts and lots of lessons plans and so on. And they very kindly have offered everyone who attends our PCE a chance to win a 6-month lease to their video catalog, which includes a new section on social and emotional learning education of videos. So we're very excited about that. And hope you can join us for that day. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thanks for. I think it also shows just how international our SIGs are with these speakers. And Tyson, thanks for joining us from Canada today. I hope you didn't have to get up too early in the morning to join us.
No, it's not too bad. I still have to have a coffee, but apart from that, I'm okay.
Coffee's always good. Thank you for joining us, Tyson. And if you want to know more about the TD6 pre-conference event, I've just dropped a link into the comment section of wherever you're watching from. And we will as well show you at the end where you can find everything on the IATEFL webpage. So,
look out for that third speaker as well.
The mystery speaker to appear. Is there going to be a fanfare announcement soon about it, Tyson?
Yep, for sure.
Cool. We'll look forward to seeing that, and you'll find out if you go to the TD SIG's Facebook page, webpage. You'll see that announcement when it comes up. And if you want to find out more about that SIG and about that pre-conference event, then as I said, the link is now live for you in the comment box. Thank you for joining us, Tyson. See you later.
Thanks, Tyson.
Okay, so that's Tyson. Well, that's 2 done.
I know. This is what's worrying me. There's just so much choice.
So again, if you've only just joined us today for today's live stream, welcome. We are talking pre-conference events. We're trying to demystify the abbreviations that we often use in our live stream events, PCE and SIGs. So we're introducing you to some of the IATEFL Belfast conference pre-conference events. So these are the things that take place on the day before the main conference itself. If you want to know more, then watch from the start of the video once the recording up where John explains everything. And as we're going through this live stream, we're introducing you to some of the SIGs and giving each one a chance to talk about their SIG. Not all the SIGs, obviously we can't have all 16 because we'd have a live stream that went on for hours. But hopefully they'll give you a flavour of what all the events are like and give you an idea of how these pre-conference events work. So we've gone from, where did we start? Poland, and then we went to Canada, and now I think we're going over to Switzerland. I think I'm just checking that Caroline is there and is ready to come on. And this is the first chorus of Happy Birthday for today, isn't it?
So, I know, I've heard a rumour.
Yes. So let's remove that. So Caroline, welcome. Caroline is here from ESPSIG. ESPSIG, there's another abbreviation. Yep. Caroline, do you want to tell us more?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me this afternoon. My name is Caroline, and I'm the coordinator of the ESP-SIG, or the English for Specific Purposes SIG. I'm joining you from a beautifully sunny and spring-like Zurich, where it's going to be about 20 degrees later on this afternoon. So I hope you guys are jealous if you're in the UK,
okay.
particularly. Yeah.
It's beautiful here today.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad for you, Sean. I'm glad. Yes, thank you for having me on this afternoon. It sounds like the Eurovision Song Contest. First Poland, and then Canada, and then... Yes, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about the ESP-SIG's forthcoming PCE. Our topic this year is decolonial perspectives on teaching ESP. In other words, how we in the West, how our ways of knowing and doing have affected our profession and how we teach, and particularly, of course, the teaching of ESP, EAP. So our aim is to open the discussion up and develop collaboration in order to cultivate plurality of views and practices in the following areas, but not limited to these areas. So knowledge production, new learners, new needs, new methods, materials, teacher training, collaborating on an interdisciplinary level. So we'd really love to see you guys at our PC on the 16th of May. We also have, unlike some of the other SIGs, we only have one plenary speaker. His name is Dr. Amritesh Singh, and he is going to be talking to us on reproducing knowledge, querying criticality for a decolonial higher education. And that's his area of research. He's up at the University of St Andrews. I still say up because I'm originally from the south of the UK. I still think Scotland is up, whereas actually it's the other direction for me now. There we go. So he's going to be giving a plenary talk for us. We're very excited about that. We also want to get you guys involved and get you coming to present your ideas in those areas. So I'm hoping Sean's going to post a link for me.
Already done.
Oh, perfect. He's ahead of me.
Quick.
2 links to share with you. The first is a link to, I think the first one is sending a proposal in. If you want to actually be part of it, one of our speakers, you can click that first link to submit your proposal. We've actually extended our deadline until the 19th of April, so you have a little bit of time still to get that into us. We'd love to have your contribution. And the second link that Sean's kindly posted for me is a link to the registration page if you would like to come and be a delegate but not present. Obviously, you're very welcome as well. We'd love to have you there. That's the second link posted in the comments for you. So yes, I mean, all that remains for me to say is please come and join us. We may not be the biggest SIG, but we're definitely an extra special SIG.
Oh,
I like it. Yes.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Oh, that's well thought out.
I do have a question though. So if I wanted to submit a proposal, I click on that link. Do I have to be a member of the SIG in order to do it, or can anyone propose to speak?
No, not at all. You don't need to be a member of the SIG. Obviously, we'd love to welcome you into the fold of our SIG, but you don't need to be a member to submit a proposal. But perhaps after you've come to our event, you will change your mind and want to become a member. You never know.
Well, that's true. I did change my SIG originally after a pre-conference event. I went, oh yes, I'll go and join that one as well.
You shouldn't be changing. You should be adding.
Well, that's what I meant, I guess.
Okay.
Sorry. And I've got another question. I mean, this is not my area at all. So, what the plenary speaker? What are they going to be talking about?
So, I mean, as far as it's still top secret in that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to give away the whole tour, but I'm just wondering if like me, because obviously I'm a technology person and do all this. So if I'm looking at something and I'm not sure, I see this plenary, I'm not 100% sure of what it actually means to me, and if I want to make a decision on to come to you or not, I just wonder what that plenary might be about, without giving away everything, of course.
I was about to say, I wouldn't like to divulge too many of Amritesh's secrets, especially as we are not aware ourselves yet of all his secrets in our.
Oh, fair enough.
But I believe he's going to be unpacking this whole idea of how does higher education react to decoloniality. So how does, like I said before, the ways that we do things in the West, particularly, how does that impact our way of our research area, our field of work? And he's going to be looking into more detail into that. But, keep an eye on our Facebook page, because
absolutely
more detail will be coming very soon.
Yeah, I didn't want to put you on the spot. I think I've got into this idea that we're trying to demystify everything in today's live stream. So that's kind of
not quite demystifying, but it's more kind of looking at our area, English for specific purposes, from that perspective of Western Western knowledge and Western ways of doing. In other words, decoloniality. Yeah.
I think that makes perfect sense, and it's often one of the benefits, I think, of being part of IATEFL as a really global organisation, that you are put in contact with and you get to see other ways, other approaches to things that you may think are second nature, and it's wonderful to see that range and actually to listen to other approaches. So that sounds great.
It does, and sorry, Caroline.
The benefit of collaboration, because like you say, John, we often get almost stuck in our own way of doing things, not necessarily in a negative from a negative perspective, but we do, because that's we're living and working in it the whole time, and to come together with people from different areas of the world is one of the massive benefits of IATEFL as a whole, particularly.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Caroline, and go and enjoy your special day. And thank you for joining us in the live stream. So that's the third one down. And
I'm exhausted. Where are we going now?
I am. I'm trying to balance everything in my head. Going, am I going to go to that one or whatever for it? So if you are curious, there are, I think, 3 more coming up. I'm just checking my notes over there. So we are going to, as I said, we're not introducing every SIG today. We're just having some there to give you a flavour of what these pre-conference events are. And I think Caroline hits on the other part of being part of a SIG. It's not just actually attending events as well. It's the fact that you can volunteer and get involved in events. Maybe a bit late to speak at everybody's PCE this year, but they have many events, and that sharing of knowledge, it's not just about going and receiving the knowledge. It's good to take part and share. And I know that way back from the SIG that I was in, that's gave me a good platform to actually start speaking at conferences and give me the confidence to get involved in things. So I think
one of the things which is so important, I think, of what we feel that we'd like to contribute as IATEFL is giving people not only the opportunity to share their ideas when they're very experienced and renowned, but also giving people that first opportunity to write an academic article, to present a webinar or as part of a face-to-face event, and to be in contact with that real community of practice focused on your area. So yeah, absolutely, PC is a great way of doing that.
And speaking of areas and things that are close to my heart, the next special interest group, I'm not showing any bias at all here, the next special interest group up here is the Learning Technologies special interest group. And it's like, hi, Vicki.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I know Sean is one of our loyal members ever.
Well, being the ex-coordinator, it's kind of it's in my heart. So, having worked with Vicki as a member of the Learning Tech SIG committee for many years, it's great to see her as coordinator. And I'm sorry, other SIGs, I love you all, but my heart is with LT. So, Learning Technology, Vicki, tell us about your PCE event.
Okay, so I'm Vicki Somal. I am the LT SIG coordinator. I am in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I have been involved with the SIG for too many years already. and I've gone from community manager to treasurer to joint coordinator, and I'm flying solo as a LTC coordinator my last 2 years of term. And we are really excited with the PCE we are organizing. We know that the pandemic brought remote teaching and learning into the spotlight, and hybrid too. And we thought that with many institutions choosing to keep hybrid as an option, we thought that it was interesting to have a closer and critical look at hybrid teaching and learning. And I'm saying this because it might look that like as LTC, we are sure to be endorsing hybrid learning 100%, and that's not exactly what we're doing. Our idea is to be looking at the challenges that hybrid learning poses and looking at it in a critical way. Our event is organized with 3 plenary speakers in the morning. We are going to have Professor David Barr from Ulster University in Belfast. Then we're going to have Gary Mottram from the University of Manchester. And then we're going to have David Red from the University of Sheffield. And they will all be sharing, starting with the most general look at hybrid teaching and learning. They will be looking at different perspectives. And in the afternoon, we have 4 ELT professionals from different parts of the world who sent a proposal through a call for papers, and they were selected to be our presenters for the afternoon. And they are going to share shorter presentations on specific aspects of their experiences with hybrid teaching and learning. So in that way, we hope to have a plurality of voices on what's going on in this aspect. And we hope to open the floor and the microphone to all our audience on the day so that we can all share our experiences with it and end the day with as many takeaways as possible with what's better for our individual contexts.
Sounds fascinating. I'm always curious about this, about hybrid. It's become the term that's thrown around, I think, since the pandemic. You know, like
it means too many different things.
Exactly.
Different people.
So if I come to the PCE, then by the end of it, will I have a definitive definition?
Yes, you will.
That's good to know.
Well, there you go. Right. So
important and relevant to so many English language teaching professionals at the moment, who, as you say, have had to sort of move over to virtual teaching, and now we're looking at this new horizon of whether hybrid learning and hybrid teaching is the answer to everybody's dreams, or if it's just presenting these challenges.
And also because in some cases you can choose whether you want to do it or not, but in many cases you can't.
That's true.
You're being asked to do hybrid,
yes.
And you need to know exactly what that means and what's the best way of doing it.
Yes, there's a typical. I've worked with many schools where the stakeholders have gone, yeah, go teach hybrid, but then how? Do you want to give me a clue? Do you want to give me a clue? Otherwise, well, thank you, Vicki. That sounds fascinating. I do hope that I will be able to go across and see some of that.
Look forward to having you there if you can.
I will. Yeah, definitely. There's a great speakers lined up for that one. So that's LTSIG, Learning Technology Special Interest Group, who are discussing aspects of hybrid learning in their PCE. And again, I can see that some people are just joining us. We are talking. Thank you, Vicki. You may go and enjoy your day. Thank you for joining us so early in Buenos Aires. So we are talking about pre-conference events that IATEFL is doing prior to the Belfast conference, and prior obviously is the day before, hence the pre-conference event. And they will be, so you have heard a number of SIGs tell us about their events. Let me remove Vicki so she can go. There we go. And we are two left. I forgot where we're going. We're going to New York. Are we going to America, I think, for the second... I think
I've got jet lag already. This is amazing. Yeah,
second birthday greeting of the day.
Yes.
I remember, John. So let's welcome to Leslie. Happy birthday!
What better to celebrate my birthday than doing this?
Yeah, well, we didn't even pay you to say that. So thank you very much. So Leslie, you are Esol SIG.
Right.
Do you want to enlighten people listening and watching what Esol SIG is and what your PCE event is?
Yeah, sure. So yes, welcome from New York. It's a cold day, but it's very sunny here. So my name is Leslie Painter-Farrell, and it's been my privilege to be the coordinator of the Esol SIG, that's English for speakers of other languages, for about 4 years now, and I've been involved in that field for over, few years now. So, who we predominantly work with, the practitioners we predominantly work with, are working in the context of teaching refugees, immigrants, migrants. So that's what we're doing. And at the moment, just as I'm extremely proud that all of us in our community are currently teaching on Zoom with Ukrainian students. So we do a lot. We're very passionate. We are small, and clearly we're not Sean's favourite. But that doesn't mean to say that we can't be your favourite. Okay? So
I feel bad.
Our PC is called Advocating for Esol Learners in Systems of Constraint. We've got 4 sessions and we've got multiple speakers. So unlike some of the others, we've got quite a few. So I'll just start naming them: Fiona Gallagher, Bronna Katasik, Sade Karazai, Sam Shepherd, Carol Goody, Pam Armstrong, and then our very own SIG member, Mike Chick. The aim of our PCE is actually to do exactly what it says. We've advocated for not only our learners, but also teachers in this field, because as you can imagine, it's an underfunded field. It's usually overlooked, even Sean maybe. So what we try and do is really just support teachers. This is going to be a very practical PCE. You'll walk away with lots of ideas if you join us, but also we'll think about things like, how do you work with students who have been through trauma, which obviously is very, very important right now? Or how do you deal with the different systems, the government systems that are in place for our learners who can't navigate them? So our field tends to be multifaceted, and the teachers that come into this field are not just teachers. I say this because I respect every single teacher of English. I know how good we all are. But for ours, we particularly have to train teachers to deal with the types of things that they see in their classrooms, which can be harrowing, but it's also extremely rewarding. And I just want to say one thing. When we held our PCE 2 years ago, it was on 3 years ago, it was on site. And one of the attendees came up to me and she said, you know what, I realized that I've just found my home in this field. She turned out to be a Ukrainian refugee herself. She's now on our committee. She's just ran about 4 webinars on teaching through trauma. She herself has experienced that. But what struck me was not only how IATEFL kind of supports your career over time, that you can go from one thing, as you heard Vicki say, and I've done the same thing through IATEFL. But also I think the beauty of the PCE is the fact that it's a kind of a small thing, which in part of a very intimidating conference. You know, when we all go to conferences and we have a gazillion billion things to go to and we never know what to, and we think we've missed everything. A PCE is like going to a little village, building a community of practice, and then, going out the next day and feeling much more confident. So I think PCE is, of course, I want you to come to ours, but I think any of them, this is the experience for all attendees.
I couldn't agree more. I think, certainly if people are attending their first conference, especially because I think once you've attended the conference, you kind of know to go to a PCE event and then go that way. But if you're coming to your first conference, the PCE is such a good place to start because it feels like a small welcoming group, which almost directs you through the conference. And I do remember my first IATEFL conference. I think we've all been to conferences, but nothing really prepares you for going to an IATEFL conference.
When you get that program, it's like this, and you're just like, where do I start? I met friends in my PCs. Oh my gosh! And I've been in IATEFL for quite some time, and I still kept them because it is that ability to connect. And don't forget, you're with somebody the whole day. It's not like moving in and out of rooms. You're with them the whole day. You're experiencing the same things, and you kind of go through a trajectory through the whole day, which is what people will do with our PCE day.
Absolutely, and I do hope. My aim for PCE day is to actually go to bits of all of them. Yeah. So I will be going in and looking at and saying hello just to see how they all are. I'll play my trusty trump card to be able to have a sneak around the door. So
I think also perhaps, from my perspective, it sounds like this is also a great opportunity, not just for people working specifically in Esol, but for other teachers who are very aware, of course, as we all are, of the terrible situations in many areas around the world, and think perhaps about how they would like to perhaps become more involved, be more aware of the issues being faced in this particular area.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, it's interesting. Somebody reached out to me through LinkedIn only because I'm the coordinator of SIG about what he could do, and he's not even a teacher.
That's it.
So it's interesting how this, how he knew I was the coordinator, all sorts of things. He's not even in the field, but I think a lot of us are feeling the need to help.
Absolutely.
And I do feel quite helpless at the moment. But
and to come together as well. Yeah, absolutely. So that sounds,
it does sound interesting, and I think I'd like to actually echoing the point we made earlier. It can be, but in a sense, we're trying to demystify some of these SIGs and PCEs. But it's about you don't have to. That doesn't have to be your area of passion. You could, you can go to these because you're looking for professional development, and it might be outside of something you've been to before. But certainly, the relevancy of what Leslie's talking about there, I think, is for all of us as educators.
Absolutely.
So and I want to say one thing about the SIGs in general is you're absolutely right, because all of us do everything in the SIGs. Like, we all work with technology, we all do a little bit of everything. But it's where's your passion, and build on it, and get that community of practice with people who are like-minded.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. And we probably have to come back and do a longer live stream with you, Leslie, at some point. But for now, I feel sorry for Heather, who has been so patiently waiting in the queue. So I'm going to go over to the last speaker. Enjoy your birthday, Leslie. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, and I will see you in Belfast, obviously. Okay, let's remove Leslie. So, John, we are almost at the end of our little, I'm going to say whistle stop, but I'm not sure that's the right word anymore.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
There's Absolutely. A lot. So
when we finish, we'll quickly jump onto the website so people can see exactly where they can find the range and the choice of all these pre-conference events and choose the one that they want to go to.
And, a shout out to LitSig, to PronSig, to LAMSig, to TEDSig, to TIASig, to whoever I mentioned, to IPSEND and GISig, to LASig and YLTSig. They're still all doing pre-conference events. They're just not able to join us today.
And if you're not sure what all of those acronyms mean, jump onto the IATEFL website and click on special interests. And each of them is explained.
I think the next live stream should be a test of the acronym, shouldn't it? So there we go.
Absolutely.
So our final SIG to be represented in this live stream is more SIG, and I do thank Heather for her patience sitting there at the end of everybody else waiting to come on. And Heather, you are now part of our stream, so welcome to us. More SIG. That's always a good one. Do you want to begin by telling us who you are and what more SIG is, and then a little bit about your pre-conference event?
Yeah, I will do. So we could call it more SIG, MORE SIG, because we give more than many of them.
They've all been working on these, haven't they?
You've given me too long to wait, Sean.
Brilliant.
And I've never done one of these live things before, so just interrupt if I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, so I'm here from the materials writing SIG. It's for people who are interested in creating materials for their own classrooms or for publication. And that includes every teacher who's using materials, who's adapting materials, who's making worksheets or whatever, or the people who are involved in actual publication of materials. So I've been a member since it started 9 years ago, and I've attended quite a lot of events now. They've always been a big source of inspiration to me. So there's lots of workshops to help me to write better materials, and I've also found out about different aspects of materials outside my own experience, which is really fed back in to what I know. For example, self-publishing, editing, writing for different purposes, etc. So it's really relevant to all. So I've recently become the joint events coordinator, and I'm going to be the MoreSig coordinator from May. For my
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, I think. So the PCE, the pre-conference events, we've got an exciting lineup of speakers. And overall, the topic is exploring dichotomies, bridging gaps, and joining the dots. So that might seem a little bit of an odd mishmash, but it's because we've learned that there are so many different perspectives in ELT materials writing. So, for example, there's the publisher's viewpoint versus the writer's viewpoint versus the teacher's versus the student's viewpoint. And it's important that we're all aware of all these things. There are also different demands on materials, for example, market demands, pedagogic theory, and research. So these can result in conflicts and constraints when it comes to materials. So it's important that we think about these things. So our topic relates to how we deal with all these different dichotomies. So we've got a great lineup of workshops and talks throughout the day. So the topics include, in a nutshell, bridging the gap between language and concepts in CLIL materials, content and language integrated learning, writing materials about traumatic subjects, updating materials to make them relevant today, writing inclusive materials, the role of the picture researcher, and queer materials writing. So we've got a really good variety of different topics during the day. You can expect to take away practical tips, relevant pieces of information and insights about theory that will inform your own practice. So come along and enjoy the day with us. We're a really thriving SIG, and I'm sure you'll really enjoy it.
Sounds tempting.
And I think you started, one of the key points you made there right from the start is this isn't just then for people whose job is specifically materials writing. As teachers, we all create materials, don't we? And so of interest to anybody and everybody in English language teaching.
That's right. And I think one of the interesting things is that there's some kind of themes that seem to be in common among the different SIGs. And I think that, you know, what we're doing in MoreSig is looking at some of these topical areas, but through the lens of materials, because materials kind of affect everything, really.
Yes.
So it's quite interesting. Yeah.
That's a good point. That it's the lens of. I think Leslie was making that point earlier. You know, how all the SIGs cross over, and there is so much crossover in what we do. But it's that lens of the SIG places a lens, so they're looking at it from that aspect, which I think is worth considering with it. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for that. Congratulations on being coordinator, and well done on your first live stream. We will get you in for a second at some point, I'm sure. But for now, thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to pop up all the conference events again and remove Heather from our stream. And we're almost at the end. John, do you want to get ready to show people how they can take part in one of these special interest events? Pre-conference events. Sorry, my mind. I'm conflating everything in my mind now. So, there we go. Oh.
All right, I'm just Keep talking, Sean.
Sorry, I just wondered where you. I thought you were about. You said I'm just doing that.
I think I'm there. Right, I am.
Okay, so I can't see it. There you go. I can't see it in the stream yet. There you go. There it is.
Oh, I was worried there. But okay, hopefully everybody can actually see, and many of you, I'm sure, will recognise this to be the IATEFL website. If you actually want to find out some more information about all of our fantastic special interest groups, then please just do go there and you'll be able to find out all about each one and click through to their specific website where you'll find information not just about their pre-conference event, but also about the SIG itself, its publications and other events and webinars that it's doing. But for today, if we go back to the homepage and scroll down, you'll see reference to our international conference in Belfast. And if you click on either of these, it takes you straight through to the conference website. And the first part of that is the pre-conference events. So clicking through there, you'll see a very familiar graphic now because we've been looking at it for the last few minutes. And then underneath, you have the choice of all of those pre-conference events. And for each one, you can just click through and it'll take you through to the event itself, more information and how to register for it. So really do take your time, go through those, find the one that really fits for you, and think of that as perhaps your start, your entry into the week of the IATEFL conference, just focusing in on a specific area to start with. So yes, it's all on the IATEFL website on the conference area, and then you can click through.
John, if you just close the page, I was going to say there was something else of interest that I saw on that webpage. It's changing message slightly, but of course, before the conference, we've got the April short courses coming up.
I like the way you did that.
So it was just you reminded me of them as we came there. So obviously, the whole event today has been about pre-conference events, but IATEFL is not just the conference and the pre-conference events, but we also do other things throughout the year, as do all the special interest groups. But our next events it will be the IATEFL short courses, which are due to be start next week. In fact,
that's right.
So these are our latest venture. We started them in January of this year, and these are small bespoke sessions with a practitioner in a specialist area. And they are 3-hour sessions. They're currently on Zoom, in which you will get to be hands-on in a small group, do practical exercises, and enrich your teaching practice within that area. So coming up next week, we've got teaching large classes. We've got engaging CLIL, which is Amanda, who I do believe, crossing back to the PCEs, is one of the speakers at the Morsig PCE. We've got creativity and education for language teachers by Daniel Jerry. And finally, we've got a non-teaching one from Anya, which is on about conflict, which is very interesting. So if you want to join one of those courses next week, there is a small charge. I think John will correct me if I get this wrong, but it's £29 to non-members and £19 to members.
That's exactly right.
Whew.
Yes. And for that, it's a 3-hour course, but in addition to that, you will get the recording of the session, the materials used, and you'll get a certificate of achievement to build into your professional development wallet or portfolio, as it were. So it's a great way of just building up a little micro-credential in a specific area of interest to you, a really cost-effective way of doing that. And yes, they're all taking place next week, so make sure you book fast.
Yes, so we'll close soon. Okay, let's just give it one last blast then, since this was our main focus today. So I'm going to thank, I can't remember everyone, so it was BE SIG, TD SIG, ESP SIG, LT SIG, Esol SIG, More SIG, who's at them all. Thank you for joining us in today's live stream, which I think is now officially our longest ever live stream. It is, we have been talking about pre-conference events and the special interest groups. So hopefully we've whetted your appetite. You can go, as John said, to the website to find out more about those. We've given you lots of links within the different, wherever you're watching from. So you can click on those links if you're interested in any of the particular SIGs as well. And I'll just say we'll be back with you on, I think on April the 8th is our next live stream, where we'll be introducing another of the plenary speakers. We've got those coming up thick and fast. Thank you, John, for everything today. Thank you to the SIGs for all their information and for taking part. And thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again at our next live stream, and hopefully in about 7 weeks or so in Belfast.
I know. It's going round fast.
It's getting here very quickly. See you soon. Bye-bye for now.